What's up, power hitters, solar warrior tribe? Today is Tuesday, April 25th, 2023. My name is Jarrett McAllister, the virtual solar pro. And if you're watching this on YouTube, on my channel, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share with your fellow solarpreneurs. We are fresh back off of SolarCon 2023, where we got to hang out in person, in the flesh. Jonathan Bernasso, Tom Cotter. What's up, gentlemen? How was it?
It's a mountaintop experience, literally, right?
Literally, yeah, man. Are those some high mountaintops in Utah or what?
Yeah, a bunch of people went skiing on Sunday, right, Jonathan?
That's right. Yeah, we spent 6 days out there in SolarCon, 4,500 foot elevation. I think we unleashed the power for sure.
We sure did, man. And yeah, check out this fresh gear for those of us in power that were hosting the power booth at SolarCon. We got this fresh new swag. I love it. Unleash
I want to know if you guys actually did laundry when you got back, or if those are still original.
Laundry.
This
laundry. That's good, man.
This is original. Definitely. Definitely original. Yeah. But it's cool, man. I only got to rock it for another hour or so to show it off.
Little quick welcome to any guests, any first-time people watching this, all the power hitters, solar warrior tribe, and anyone in power to this awesome meeting. Let's go, Jarrett.
Yeah, right on, right on. So yeah, man, I'm super excited. I'm still riding the high from this convention. That was my first solar convention in the industry, and man, running into leaders in the industry, seeing new technology, checking out killer speakers, and being part of Power's, it's almost say like coming out party to the industry, right? That incredible booth. And hopefully, Jonathan, you have some pictures and some slides we could share to kind of show off what we had going on. But it was a party. It was
absolutely
exciting times. I know there's a lot of people on this call that were there. There's a lot of people on this call that weren't able to make it, but I would say that this is a must-attend event moving forward for anyone in the industry, whether you're with Power or another company or whatever. I mean, I don't see how you could miss out on this. And yeah, I would definitely be attending moving forward every year. So incredible. With that being said, let's move on to some wins. And I think, like you said before this started, if you were at SolarCon and you had some wins over the weekend, we'd love to hear about them. So go ahead, raise your hand, drop it in the chat.
And that could be
call on you.
And that could be networking, meeting other reps, supporting each other, getting a new rep, making a connection with a vendor. You know, there was just a ton of wins. So yeah, I'd love to hear a few.
Oh, cool. Bill was quick to raise his hand, and I ran into Mr. Conley at SolarCon multiple times. We just looked at each other and been like, what up? It was so good to see you, Bill. What do you got for us?
Yeah, Jared, thank you. Fantastic event. You know, most of us with any age at all have probably been to conventions before. Many in the solar industry, solar conventions, but all types. And I got to tell you that this was absolutely, this convention rocked it. And Power's participation, I think, was a key element in that. So incredible how throughout the entire conference, Power brand awareness was spread. You know, we were all over, and our booth was without exception the best there. The amount of time and energy that was put into crafting this with a lot of our help. You know, the marketing team came to us to ask what we wanted, and then did their best to make that happen. And I think they hit it out of the park. So as you see the booth, and Cammy's got a great little 2-minute video on Power presentation that is going to make its way around. That was phenomenal. And I just have to say, for myself, my dearest friend Tom Cotter, and all the Solar Warrior tribe, that we had an incredible time. We had our own little chateau where we all stayed, and that was great. I know Jared, you and JB had another castle So we stayed in the best place. We ate at the best restaurants. We're treated like kings, really. My own personal experience was one of great connection with lots of people. To see JB's speech was phenomenal. That will get out soon enough. Jonathan Budd's talk was a 30,000-foot view of the solar industry, of renewable industry, and where we're going. The fact that we haven't even begun to start. 2026 is when it looks like things are going to start taking off for solar. So if you're anxious about getting in late or anything like that, forget it. My own personal experience, I think I have 3 new enterprise accounts, and it's interesting. What I really wanted, my point is, and I'll stop real quick, the appeal that power has to the industry, to people in the industry, is without peer. I have a solar panel manufacturer, a solar lead generator who thinks he can supply power the entire industry, the entire company, with all the exclusive generated leads that possible. I said, wait a second, slow down. Let's just get into enterprise first, and we'll talk about it. And then also an install partner. So all 3 are different industries. I'm sure many of you have a lot of other examples of that, but that's kind of my takeaway, is that people from all over the area of renewables are going to be drawn to power for its platform and what we're doing, and the fact that it is different, and they're seeing us as different. So kudos to Power for putting it on. Kudos to all of you, my fellow solar warriors, and fantastic job. I had a great time. I'm ready to do it again.
Right on, Bill. Yeah, thank you for that recap. I mean, there was so much going on, and you were making moves and shaking hands and networking like crazy, and it was very cool to see Mr. Budd up there on stage giving the macro view of the industry, really sharing his thoughts. So that was incredible. Thank you for sharing that, Bill. From one Bill to another Bill, Mr. Solar Bill.
Hey,
Go ahead, share some success.
All right. I spent 3 days at RE Plus in September in Irvine with 27,000 renewable energy people. And the energy at SolarCon last week was just way better and phenomenal and much more focused on solar. So my big win was I was able to really focus on batteries. So they had a couple of presentations on the Platinum Day by a company called Stores. I was able to get out to meals with our Solar Edge and Enphase people and really build some new relationships on the technical side. Visited some of our new vendors, Franklin Batteries, and a couple others, Home Grid. So that was my focus, was to really understand the battery situation for the NEM 2. Got plenty of time with Mike Patterson and several other really smart guys here on the team so anyways, it was just a really wonderful experience. I unfortunately went early. It's tried to ski on Tuesday, but I got lightning struck and closed the lift down, and it was not the great experience. So next time I'm going to hang with you guys on the day after. But anyway, and I had to leave a little early, but I did catch the first 20 minutes of Jay Budd's talk. It was amazed before I had to go into a meeting, and I'm hoping somebody has a Facebook Live recording. I'd like to hear the rest of it this week and not wait for a couple of weeks. So if anyone has something to share with that, I'd welcome it. Really, it was a lot going on, and I really appreciated the extra day, spending some time with David Steele and the Platinum Day. And when there was only a couple hundred people around, we really got to solidify some relationships until then the 3,000 people rolled in on Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. But
Beautiful.
yeah, it was a big win, and I'm in already for next year. So
Right on, Bill. I sell ya. Was your big win me and you tearing it down on the dance floor?
It was a dream come true. But hello everyone, SolarCon. I went there with just an open heart and open mind. I mean, it's like 20 men to like 1 female. So just kind of wanted to embrace everything. I know that power within the industries has had a bad stigma, or so I heard. And so not coming from the solar industry, I kind of had my pink hat just kind of like tucked away in my bag, just walking around, just wanted to get to know people. Until, the end, when power just had a whole new, I think, perspective from people in the industry, a whole lot of respect, especially after Jonathan Budd spoke. It's just outstanding, just so genuine and kind, and his mission and his vision for all of us to be, just to unite and be together in the industry. People have been in the industry here for 50, the leaders, 10 to 10, 15 to 10, 10 years before I even heard of power, right? So they've been leading the industry with a lot of heartaches and pains and ups and downs, and fighting with legislators to keep this industry alive. So for me, it was a whole nother respect for all the leaders in our industry. So at the last day, which is the 3rd day, I had my pink hat on, and I can't tell you how many compliments I got from so many people on, oh, you're with power. Oh, you're with power. They were like really excited that I was, part of the platform, and were asking me questions. And I think, again, so much respect, Kiara Smithy, man, that was fire, when she spoke at a whole executive level. But I think for me, it was gold when it was just, Jonathan Budd, Bobby Smith on a couch with like 60 or 80 of us in an intimate setting with new prospects. And then some of us that were able to ask them some really deep questions on where we are going with power. So all of it was just amazing. I mean, hey, I got on the plane by myself. I didn't have anybody. I went, but it inspired me to build a team and to continue our journey here, especially as women. It is an open floor. I mean, the objection handler that won, Michelle, it was a female that won that whole contest. But I'm just saying, I'm so grateful for all of you being there with the Power family, even though I wasn't part of the booth part, but the booth was excellent, outstanding, classy. And again, thank you so much, and appreciate being able to connect with, our Power family. I got an opportunity to meet Jonathan Budd and just let him know what we're doing as females, women in the industry. So just grateful to be part of the platform with all of you. So thank you.
Right on, Asalia. Thank you for sharing that. And it was wonderful getting to spend some time with you and hanging out and having some fun. So right on. Appreciate you sharing that. Jeanette, hey, another one I got to hang out with, and at the booth and all over the place. And man, right before Jay Budd came on, Jeanette was like literally going around the convention, letting everybody know. You packed that house. Share some wins with us.
Well, first of all, it's a pleasure to meet you and everyone in Power in person who I'd never met before, but only virtually. So thank you so much for your presence. And to see people again who I'd met, before for the first time at JC's Mentor Factory, it was good to see the Brunasa brothers and others again. And it was also good to see people who I also know online through other channels. I came up into the solar world from the D2D space, very much the Sam Taggart, MOD, Bradley, Andy Elliott. I know all those guys. Yes, it was me who brought those big, heavy, strong dudes over to Jonathan Budd so that they could toss him. So I thanked Andy Elliott afterward for being so quick and so professional about letting him say hello on stage, going in, lifting him up, getting out of there. They did such a fabulous job. I also want to welcome Heidi from Arizona, who has joined our team as a result of me being able to serve her and be an example of someone who's proud of my solar company and its delivery and the compensation and the platform. So welcome Heidi from Arizona, who's on this call today. And I would say the last of my wins is probably that I can see so far, because there'll be other things probably coming out of the attendance of SolarCon, but just there are several enterprises who are, really looking at the platform. And I really appreciate the fact that I was able to speak with them. I did miss Charles Thompson's time management talk. That was super important to me. It just so happened I had an extended meeting. So I would like to ask if we can get that one online. If it was recorded, that would be fabulous.
Absolutely.
Nice,
Thank you for
Jeanette.
sharing that. And to answer your question, yes, all the Power Talks will be uploaded here relatively soon. I'd imagine.
Within 2 weeks. So give the marketing team 2 weeks to get us some of those talks here. And also shout out to Jeanette. She had 2 or 3 guests at the private power party at Bourbon House that was sponsored by Power and myself. So way to utilize the events and have more successes and wins.
Thank you for supplying all the leadership and for funding that. Thank you.
My
And thank
pleasure.
you for everybody who helped fund that booth. I really appreciate such a proud display. Thank you.
All right, Jose, I see your hand raised, and then we are going to move on. Jose, what you got, brother? You're muted. Gotta unmute yourself.
Jose's a party animal. What you got, Jose? You
You
still
gotta
need to
unmute yourself, brother.
click the unmute button.
I got it.
There he is.
Hey, number one, it was awesome meeting all of you guys. I see you guys every Tuesday on here. And finally being able to meet you guys was really fun. Number two, it was probably the best refresher for what we came out of NEM2, you know, restarting and learning so much from everybody out there. I know I picked up a whole lot of stuff. The talks from the CEOs. I had to fly home on Friday night, but I tuned in to Jonathan Budd's live on Saturday, and gotta say, man, very impressed and really excited to see where we're going. So thank you guys, and had a blast with you guys.
Right on, man. Yeah, Jose, it was awesome getting to see you in person and hang out. And you came to the mansion and little after parties, some shenanigans, you know, having some fun. But no, that was rad. That was totally rad. And real quick, before we do move on, I would like to give a shout out to a gentleman that met me at the booth. His name is Shane DeBarty out of the Bakersfield area. This is or 6 weeks ago, and did 36 deals in the past 6 weeks, and is now wanting to expand to a nationwide company. We had a conversation. He had heard about Power, all the great things, cost of goods model, decentralized, 5 streams of income. He was fired up. He was like, man, I've been actually trying to get a hold of somebody. Let's go. Joined the team right there on the spot. Super excited to bring him on board. So Shane, you hearing this, man, ready to rock and roll with you, brother. So looking forward to that. A lot of great connections were made. And I'm sure we'll get a little bit more into it. So
Awesome.
With that said, Jonathan, you ready to move this train along?
Yep. We have Tom's power perspective, and then we'll jump into some more content, but we all love, I think this is our favorite part. So Tom, take it away.
Thank you, Jonathan. Thank you, Jarrett. Shane Rafferty, I see you sitting there in your amazing shirt there. Shane, if you want to come off mute, and also Craig Bloom, if you want to come off mute, I got a question for you in just a minute. So I'm just teeing you up to be off mute. So thanks for this impromptu question that I'm going to ask you. So if you joined us late today, a group of us just came back from the SolarCon, which was easily the best solar event of the year. It was literally a mountaintop experience in Salt Lake City. However, we're all at different places, right? In our family, in our relationships, our health, maybe even our faith, definitely our business. Sometimes we spend a season walking through a valley, and it's not necessarily that mountaintop experience. So Shane and Craig, not to say that you are walking through a mountain or a valley, I just wanted somebody to pick on. Let me ask you a question, gentlemen. If I gave you $1 million cash, if you can send that over on, I don't know, Venmo or PayPal or Cash App, I don't know if you can send that much, but if I sent you each $1 million, how would you feel towards life, towards me?
Wow. You want to take it first, Craig, or you want me to?
Dude, how would you feel? What would be the emotion that you would feel if I just gave you $1 million each?
I'd be extremely excited, and I'd love you even more than I love you now, Tom.
I would be very, I don't know. I would feel joy, but then I would also probably have a long, hard thought about it that I didn't earn it. And so that would be something I would work for. I couldn't just take the handout without earning it.
Yeah, I think that's good answers. I think generally, most folks would just feel grateful, right? Because of what that does for your life. Now, let me ask you, gentlemen, if I gave you $1 million, would anyone be able to get you in a bad mood for a little while?
No,
Probably not, right?
absolutely not.
If I said, I'll give you the million, and actually I'll make it 10 million. So I'm going to give you $10 million, but you can't wake up tomorrow. You're just gone. You pass in your sleep. Would you take that $10 million?
No.
No way.
No? Okay, so what you're saying is that just waking up tomorrow is worth more than 10 million? Is that what you're
100%.
saying? Now, to everybody else, why aren't you feeling that every time you wake up? Nobody does. That's why we wake up and we get bummed out. We have a bad day. This sucks, that sucks, the world hates me, something's not fair, I can't lose weight because of this reason, I can't get in shape, I can't make money, blah, blah, blah. Guys, we woke up today. It's April 25th, 2023. It's gonna be a good day. The question is, how good is it gonna get? And if it doesn't get as good as we want, guess what? Hopefully we wake up the next day. The reality is you woke up. How good are you going to make today? Thanks, Craig. Thanks, Shane, Jarrett, and Jonathan. Back to you, my friends.
Thank you for the inspiration as always.
Woo, who's got goosebumps right now? My goodness, Tom. Well done as always. One of the takeaways I had at SolarCon, and one of the things Hayes Bernard said, the owner of Goodleap, who's worth $3.8 billion, is that money should be your servant. It shouldn't be your master. And unless you're helping other people, you may not have a sense of fulfillment. And, not to toot the horn, but as a multi-million-dollar earner just at Power, it's more fulfilling helping other people. I mean, money in the bank's cool, but unless you're helping people and waking up excited and you work your ass off when you don't need to, like that's truly what's possible here. And to even taste a little bit of that has been insane in 3 years. So I wish the same for all of you. And I know some of you are already on that path and touching that path. So thank you, Tom. Wow, that was a deep one. So let's go ahead and move on to some updates here for you. And I'll share some other items as well. And we'll continue on this topic. Today is the last day for the donations for the project management teams. So I'll put the link in the chat. And again, thanks to Rick and Tom for setting this up. We are about $775 away from our goal of 9,000. So we went past our goal of 8,000. So we are donating funds, buying gifts, and recognizing the project managers who now have 2 to 3 times the amount of work, but not 2 to 3 times the amount of pay like we get to get. So if you feel obliged to give $10, $20, $50 a deal just to give them some extra love during this crazy time, please do so in the chat there. Couple updates. The next biggest event that you want to plan to, if you missed SolarCon, if you went to SolarCon, if you want to continue the momentum, it's the easiest thing to continue, but if you lose it, it's gone. So make sure to catch the momentum and ride that wave and keep going. Mentor Factory in Orange County, Downey, California, LA County. Go to mentorfactory.net. It's going to be 2 days, July 21st and 22nd. Last year, we had Danny Pesci speaking. We'll probably invite him again to speak, as well as other entrepreneurs and other industry speakers and trainers and top performers at Power as well. People flow in from Florida and Texas, and it was a blast at the Embassy Suites here. That's a JC Rangel event that he hosts. It's not Power Corporate, just FYI. Per usual, let me see if I can make this a little bit bigger. Every Monday, JC's training. This Tuesday training, Power calendar's packed with trainings. Lease, PPA, enterprise training, Melissa Dawson, Women of Power every Thursday. If you're new, Power onboarding, building with Bobby on Fridays. We've got office hours. We have market development meetings. If you're wanting to sell in Vegas, you should be attending the Vegas market development meeting, getting to know Colby and Chris Perez and Michael Ayers selling in Reno, and attend those meetings. They are amazing in every market, California, Florida, Nevada, and all those trainings are being put on Knowledge Base where you can watch them afterwards. And then September 7th to 9th, Power World in San Diego. Stay tuned for the link to purchase tickets if you haven't purchased tickets already. That will be a 2-day event. I'm catching wind of 1 or 2 speakers they want to speak. And let me tell you, some of these speakers charge 6 figures, guys. So September 7th, I think it's, what is it, 8th and 9th or 7th and 9th? Maybe someone could put it in the chat. Power World in San Diego, gonna be epic. So make sure your calendar's clear for that. Thank you, Tom. 7th, 8th, 9th. Is it 3 days? 7th is the evening is probably the business presentation, and 2 days, 8th and 9th is my guess. All right, so obviously the topic today is SolarCon. I'm going to go over a few things. We can maybe hear a few more shares, and then we will do some Q&A, office hours, any questions at all for about 30 minutes or so like we normally do. But just in case you haven't caught on by now, SolarCon is an industry event. Last year was the first one of its kind. I was lucky enough to be invited by Jake Hess to speak on a panel, and we didn't know what it was going to be. Was it going to be a recruiting fest? Was it going to be a pitch fest? What was it going to be? And I think with unequivocally, all of us can say that Jake and Joe and the whole SolarCon team really wanted to just bring the industry together. You know, he said that I would talk to top CEOs on the East Coast who never met the top CEOs on the West Coast. And there are these keyboard warriors out there on these Facebook groups, and they kind of talk about each other, not always positively, but when we come together, we are unstoppable. When we come together, it's hugs and it's human interaction and it's face to face. And I can truly say that that was the intention behind this. And it was felt around the 3,000 to 4,000 visitors that attended this event. So industry event, it's more geared for the solar consultants, solar companies, trainings I'll show you, and also vendors that support all of our businesses and industries. Of course, the second year running, over 3,500 in attendance, bringing the industry together. And I just want to give you guys a taste in case you didn't attend of the agenda here. You know, so Thursday, day one, we have Kiara Smithy representing the brand. And again, shout out to anyone that spoke, represented Power. So Kiara, of course, shout out to her for being able to speak on opening day. And then there was Vegas Acrobatics. Michael O'Donnell spoke. There's VIP lunches, breakouts, overcoming your first year in solar, construction best practices. I mean, just a ton of stuff. Artificial intelligence, virtual sales, under the hood of EPCs, how to sell and size batteries, how to sell in a no net metering environment. I mean, it just goes on and on all the way till 8 o'clock. And then day two was amazing. Zane Jan, Better Earth, Andy Elliott, and Hayes Bernard, who's worth 3.7 billion, as I mentioned, in net worth. Just to hear the three of them, I mean, will shift your reality and your mindset. And I'll share some of my takeaways and things that I left and I'm already implementing and thinking about for my business. And of course, we had Jonathan Budd with an amazing keynote speech. We're going to get to hear that in 2 weeks or so. And Charles Thompson representing as well. And even the Power booth, we were signing people up because we had the Power VIP room. And so we had a VIP room where we could do our own presentations and our own displays. And we had the entire VIP lunch area where we had pillows and blankets and pop-up banners all around the room. And we had cards on every table. And everyone got a text saying, check out the SolarCon VIP room sponsored by Power. So it truly was an amazing experience. Let me go ahead and show you guys a few pictures here. Bear with me. This is the SolarCon chat that we created. So a lot of people flew in. I like to do a little treat with the team. You know, we all spend a little more bucks flying first class, which is always amazing, out of Southern California. Some of the crew was snowboarding, getting in early, eating. Some people drink. There's the booth being constructed. This is literally Wednesday night. Rick Joseph here. And there's literally no floor the day before. It's amazing how fast they build these booths. One of the bills there. Look at that, Wednesday. It's unbelievable. Had some snowy conditions. Just a gorgeous backdrop. Some of us stayed in Airbnb mansions. There was 11 of us with a theater room and a gym and a sauna. Gustavo's flying in. And Tom, I know you had like 2 or 3 team dinners, right? Which vendors were taking you out here?
We had Franklin the first night, and then Solar Edge, and then Enphase.
Oh, we
We
did
had
a good
about-
job of keeping it secret though, Tom, right?
Yes, yes.
We didn't let them know that we were dating each.
Here's some of the team that we came in on the first night, Wednesday night, actually. And there's Tom and Rick and team as well. Looking good.
Yeah, it was super fun, you know, getting an Airbnb with the view. Our Airbnb slept, you know, was it 28, 21? We had 15 leaders there from the team. So good meetings after the meeting back at the Airbnb.
Absolutely. Let me see if I can show a few more here. Jonathan Budd and some of the women, female leaders representing here, which is just amazing to see. Jonathan's keynote speech here. Going on stage, Spencer Rosen with Enphase. Andy Boyd worked his ass off, and the marketing team, and Irene and Cammie's team, and just shout out to the entire team that put this on. I mean, these guys worked relentlessly. Were tired. Rachel McDonald even got sick one day. But huge shout out to the corporate team for making this happen. This is in the VIP room. There's Charles. Bobby Smith, of course.
I was
socks,
hoping you were going to show that one.
no shoes. Gotta love Bobby. Private event at the Bourbon House. Jonathan Budd crushed his speech here. Cammie, Bill. Looks like they're headed to the private event at the Bourbon House in this picture. Some of the crew went snowboarding on Sunday. And let me show a few more here. So this is Jake Hess, one of the gentlemen that helps literally put on this entire event, and just showed up, you know, so amazing to bring the industry together. See if I have any other good pictures. And, you know, one of my takeaways is just rooting for each other, whether these people are at Better Earth or whether he's, you know, that's Brett Bushy Jr., the owner's son of Freedom Forever, and he's a good friend. And one of the biggest things that touched me was we all have to root for each other. You know, Edmund at Apricot, Kumquat, Zane Jan, Better Earth, Freedom Forevers, we're all in solar and we should all root for each other. And that's the message that Hayes Bernard said. Even I believe, Zane and Jay Bud kind of alluded to it as well, just bringing everyone together. And here's Enphase treating us to a dinner at the Airbnb, and some of the crew here, like Julie and Todd Borden, closing 23 deals with Power last month, and many of the top performers here, which is amazing that I can even call some of them friends and family, like the Cynthias, Janice, Luis Perez's, Owen Carey, Jeff Hugh, Chris Bernasso, Sean Dominius, and just so many more of you guys that we get to come together and have fun in this manner. It's not work when we get to go to an industry event, network with friends, family, and make ridiculous income. I mean, you just got to pause and take a moment to realize what we have at this very moment right now. And
there's nothing better than that the utilities would love is for us in all these different solar companies to demonize each other and fight against each other and take our eye off the ball of really where we're headed with this industry.
Absolutely. So this was a Titan after hours party. There's probably 500 people packed into a capacity of 300. It was just insane.
Yeah, I was gonna say, be careful playing any of those videos, Jonathan. This is gonna be on the internet, and the internet is forever. Yeah.
There's Jonathan Budd before his speech being thrown up into the air, which was epic. And we have a private party at Bourbon House, which honestly, guys, the fact that I can even help sponsor with Power is just even making my mind grow and expand. And SolarCon next year, how can we do it up bigger? And it's just amazing to be able to give back and see Jarrett networking with a top, Texas installer that hasn't joined us yet, and Jeanette's guests, and other teammates' guests all having a VIP happy hour private party event. And yes, it was a couple $1,000s from each of the sponsors, but it's well worth it. Crazy worth it. 385 drinks were served. And honestly, I can't tell you how amazing it feels to be able to just think of ways to provide to make us even better and have more events like this, and maybe a local event as well in Vegas or California. So that was epic. And just gorgeous, gorgeous time here. Here's some of us at dinner: Jim Bunch, Michelle Bunch. We were recapping, taking notes at a nice steakhouse. Was that 2 nights ago? That was Sunday night. That's right.
I know. I was almost like, was that last night? It's all a blur, dude.
I've got 1 or 2 more things here, and then we'll open it up for maybe a additional share if you want to share in the chat or ask a question or raise your hand. So just, recapping, and I'll let Jarrett and Tom recap, or Rick as well. SolarCon 2023, really bringing the industry together. One of my biggest takeaways, as I mentioned, is rooting for each other. Again, rooting for everyone in the industry. Hayes Bernard really mentioned this in his interview. I think we should all support each other. The more solar grows, the more sales we do, the better the interest rates get for everyone, the better our planet is served. It's just a little flip of the mindset for me. It's not just scout, recruit. What I'm seeing more these days is it's the connections. It's the happy hour, it's the breakfast, it's the lunch. It's how do we connect? Do we like each other? It's those foundations that bring us together more unified and keep us together more than anything. So it was just amazing to see the industry all warm with each other and all respectful and happy and smiles and all rooting for each other. So no matter who I met, Zane Jan, Edmund, Brett Bushi, all these heavy hitters, I'm just like, hey, I'm rooting for you. Like, I hope you kick ass with your new company. I hope you double what you did before. And you want to think big. You want to think about a 10 to 100 year vision. That's another big takeaway for me. Whatever it is that you're thinking, like, I want to do 5 deals next month. That's great. but can you take it out a year or two? Do you want to do 80 deals this year? Do you want to do 200 deals next year? Do you want 20 people on your team in 2 years? Like, when you set your goals large, you start thinking of things that you need to do to achieve those goals, I've noticed. So be a little bit ambitious. Just have a foresight 10 years out, 5 years out. Because guys, solar and renewables is a 10 to 100 year vision minimum. Like 10 is just getting started. It's beyond that. And moving on to a few of the speakers that I really respect. As I said, Hayes Bernard, shouldn't be a servant. Sorry, money should be a servant, not a master. And if you're not helping others, you know, that's the ultimate fulfillment. He knows billionaires and millionaires who are just not fulfilled and depressed and sad. And, you know, I think it was just great to hear his message, someone that's worth $3.8 billion.
Yeah,
John-
and real quick, Jonathan, you know, you and I watched Hayes Barnard together. We sat there and watched him. I didn't know who he was, CEO of GoodLeap, for those that don't know. Yeah, it was, you know, top executive with Solar City before he got, you know, before they ended that. But yeah, he might have been one of my favorite speakers. Just his perspective, his spirit, very calm. It was not like Andy Elliott, which, you know, that's for some other people. It was quite the opposite. But yeah, he, you know, another quote that he said was, "Life is a giving competition." And I absolutely love that. And when, you know, there's a common thread between those who are at the top, right? Those who are extremely successful at a really high level. It is about that giving mentality. It is about pumping each other up, helping each other out, and doing it as much as you can. And not doing it because it comes back tenfold, 100-fold, because it does, but doing it because it's really what satisfies, you know, the soul, and as a leader, and to be able to do that. And we are so fortunate, you know, those of us in this industry, in this position with this company, to be able to give and help each other out like that. So just wanted to share that, my thoughts on the Hayes Bernard speech.
Yeah. Amazing individual there. Jonathan Budd's keynote, you all see the recording in a few weeks, but one of the coolest things I think Bill said earlier was that this is just training ground. This is just practice right now, what we're doing. In 2026, all the data shows that the industry is going to start to go bigger. You know, we all know that only 4 to 5% of the entire country has solar on their homes. We're all seeing the utilities go up more. We're seeing solar panel prices get more reasonable. We have really large compensation right now. And what happens with the mature market is you have more, what do you want to say, guidelines, you have more tightening, you have more ethics and integrity, and you have a little bit of knowledge. Right now, the knowledge is with us, and it's up to us to share it with the homeowners. As the years go on, the homeowner knowledge will increase. And that means likely some of the, you know, whoever's charging a $13,000 commission, those are things that are going to start to tighten and increase. And so it's just exciting that 2026 is when the industry barely starts. And we have 10 years of runway with the renewable tax credit, and there's no saturation till 2046, 2040s that we're even going to start to see, guys. So if you think there's saturation, Zane Jan said some of these things. If you think there's saturation, you're effing wrong. If you say, oh, I ran into another door knocker. Oh, there's too much solar in California. Oh, NEM 3.0, I'm going to move out of the state. He's like, shut the F up. Like, you have the wrong mindset. You cannot foresee the future. And he got just a little passionate about that topic, and it really hit home. He's right, you know, and Jay Bud's right with the industry stats. And one of the things Zane said is, you want to do volume. You want to do right by your customers. If you make a $13,000 commission with the guy on the street, and his neighbor finds out 10 houses down that his price was 10 grand higher than another price, you just lost 15 referrals on that street. You just lost 10 to 15 people that could have been your ambassador, that then could have given you 2 to 3 referrals each, because you thought that $13,000 commission was cool. So one of the things Zane preaches is go for the volume, go for the true customer service. Don't try to get the one shot, once a month with the huge commission, and you may not be given the right level of customer service or doing right by your customers. And some of the things Zane said, I really like Zane as well. Be coachable if you want to be a leader, top performer, entrepreneur. Be selfless. It's not always about you. It's about the team, the mission, our vision. Be punctual. Always be on time, 5 minutes early. If you go to his meeting and you're a minute late, you don't get in the meeting. So be on time. Be self-motivated. This is not a manager paying you a W-2. You need to create your own motivation. Take your own cold showers, get to the gym, get your sunlight, eat right. We're not here. We're here to tell you what we do and give you tips, but you got to be self-motivated and you have to be consistent. He doesn't want someone on his team that puts up 10 one month and then goes 0 for the next 2 months on vacation. It's actually bad culture. It'll infiltrate the team and say to other people that that's okay. And he doesn't like that. And you want to be loud on social media. If you're not posting on free social media, it's free. If you're not loud and letting people know what you do, he doesn't want you on his team. And it's not just about being a top performer. It's about having the company vision, getting behind the vision. If you want to be seen as a leader, if you want to go on stage and speak, it's not just good enough to just be a top performer. If you can get behind the vision and the mission of the company and the culture and the people, man, will you make multiple 7 figures here in the next few years. So that's what I have. I'd love to hear from Tom, especially Rick. You probably want to share. And if you want to do any other shares, feel free to raise your hand. Thanks, Jordan Shaw. We missed you, buddy.
I'd love to pass the mic to Rick.
Yeah, I think you guys covered a lot of it, but I really think we move the needle. We move the trajectory on where we're going as a company in terms of how we're viewed. And we like to say we're on that hockey stick curve. I think we shifted the pitch of the hockey stick this last week. Just the growth, and I don't know how we're going to all follow up with all the leads and all the enterprises and all the new sellers we have. We're all kind of drinking from the fire hose right now. So that was a huge part of it. But my takeaway was just the reputation of Power, how it's accelerated to see where we were at, where we are now, and where we're going. And then just the relationships, building the relationships both externally with our partners. We mentioned we have dinner with Franklin and SolarEdge and Enphase, and John, I know your team did as well. And the level of respect that Spencer and Jason and all of our account reps have for us, Brian at REC and Helga at Q-Cells. I spent most of the conference not so much recruiting, but just building the relationships with our partners and deepening those relationships with Q-Cells, REC, Goodleap, Mosaic, and the level of respect that those guys have for us at this point. They know. They deal with all the other companies in the industry. They know. They know who we are, where we're going, and they're hitching their wagon strongly to Power. That was a huge takeaway for me. The internal relationships with our teammates, Shane and Fabian, who's on the call, and Caroline, maybe at some point you guys want to share as well, just having the Airbnbs together. Edgardo had his, Jonathan had his, Tom and I had ours, getting those late night meetings after the conference and just deepening those relationships, establishing new relationships, people we've only talked to on the phone. Now we're grabbing dinner with, and we're having morning coffee conversations. There's gold in that. As much education as we get, that's cool. The reputation's cool. But gold is in the relationships. And if you could develop them and work on them and deepen them, that's really where you get somewhere in this industry. So Tom and I, we've been at it 15, 16, 17 years at this point. And I just feel like it's just all like a culmination. Whatever we did before was just kind of the precursor to get here. Because here is the launch pad to everywhere else. I was talking to J-Bud on
Oh, it
Sunday
is
night
what it
after
is,
the
buddy.
conference, and that's kind of what he felt as well. It's just everything that all of us OG have done was just setting the stage for this model and this platform really to kind of gain the trajectory that we're gonna. This is our time. This no other company and no other model can do what we're about to do. So I'm just really grateful, humbled, excited, jazzed, stoked. We shifted this week. There's no freaking doubt something changed. We shifted some stuff majorly. So I'd ask Shane or Fabian or Caroline or any of the other people that were at our Airbnb, if you guys maybe want to share something similar, some of your takeaways and impressions.
Yeah, I'll jump in. Yeah, I mean, it was like you said, it's a fire hose, Rick. I mean, there's so much knowledge and just positivity throughout the whole experience. The thing I really, took away from it, the main thing was friendships, and also just knowledge. I was just learning from, all of you in the Airbnbs, in the dinners, out on the showroom floor, just constantly listening to everybody's take on solar, how they got started, where they're going. And it just, in doing so, it helped me just really find my way in my ultimate direction and just kind of realize that I am on the right path. I mean, I got so much to say, I won't take up all the time, but just really inspirational hearing JB's speech, Andy Elliott. Again, like a huge takeaway from that was, when I was a solar manager, the first thing I did was I took the bottom 80% and I went after them, kind of like he was talking about. It was really cool. How he said the top 20% get ridden, they get taken away from their families. That happened to me. And when I was a manager, the first thing I did was say, hey, you guys, you're doing great. If you need me, I'm here. I want to take everybody else that needs direction and guidance, and I want to build them up. So I just see an endless amount of opportunity with this company, and I'm beyond fired up. And as Rick, when I first talked to you, said this thing's a rocket ship. It's definitely a rocket ship, and it's just continuing to go to the moon. So enjoy it, everybody, and I appreciate y'all.
Thanks, Shane. Anybody else have anything that they want to share? I'll just kind of open it up.
Yeah, I'll hop in here. And one of the things that I think is amazing about Power is we do, some people get caught up in the whole team thing. My favorite thing about Power is you're all my brothers and sisters, and I got to talk to everybody and just added value in every conversation and not kind of hiding back on what I'm doing. People tell me what they're doing. So I think that's a beautiful, thing about our company. So just so cool to just be with a bunch of entrepreneurs. Everyone has all these different game plans. It's actually pretty crazy and very impressive. So I just love seeing everybody's faces out there. Appreciate it.
Yeah, and you know what, to echo Owen's statement, I mean, obviously we could go on hours and hours and hours about SolarCon and all the takeaways and the team building and the speakers and the partnerships, but I think, and we talk about this, right? About culture here at Power. And yeah, we show up on our Zoom meetings, we're positive, right? We're helping each other out. But it's not until you actually get back in person and you're with each other and everyone is truly so supportive. We have undoubtedly the best culture of, I don't know of any industry, but definitely in the solar industry. I mean, it's unbelievable. I was talking to Sean and I said, I was like, Power's a fucking blessing with people. And like I said, it's only for those that are truly good human beings. Because if you're not, you will weed yourself out. People at Power don't weed you. You will weed yourself out. It's like, it's too good, right? You just go, I'm a shady motherfucker. This isn't going to work around here because these guys they're legit. They're straight up. They're honest. They show love. And so, man, that's a huge takeaway. And you feel it. I've been to a few events with all you guys, and just when you come off it, you definitely coming off a high. And yeah, man, there's no bad apples. And if there are, they don't stick around. And so we're just going to continue to grow. And that's why I think we have such great momentum, because it's positivity, it's positive energy, which we're attracting more positive energy. Yeah, and I'm just excited for the future. So
Love it. Jeanette, what share would you like to?
Yes, just really quick. I mean, I just want to acknowledge and encourage everyone to acknowledge people who have come from the traditional solar world and for, the door knocking world, that they are open-minded enough to take a look at this platform, take a look at the innovation, and be open to the culture and add to the culture. I think people who join need to be acknowledged for being, bringing themselves and their best, and for really being open-minded to what we all can do together. And they need to be acknowledged as they join up.
Absolutely. I love that word, Jeanette. Are you open-minded to looking at us? Are you open-minded to a new opportunity? Are you open-minded to looking into solar? That's beautiful. I'll end the recording with one last note here. And it's something that some of you said already, but just another recognition and appreciation. I think Zane said this, is we get to be in an industry which is a trifecta. And when he was looking at industry to join, he was like, wow, this one has the trifecta. And what is the trifecta? The trifecta in our industry is, number one, the homeowner wins. They get to save and they get benefits. Number two is our planet wins. It has monumental impacts to help our planet. And number three, we get to win. We get to win with very generous compensation. And so what other industry can you think of that has the perfect trifecta? And that's what we get to do here with the best platform. So, Rick, do you have one more thing?
No, that's pretty much it. I just
Okay.
I just wanted to comment on Jarrett's share and how important that was. In terms of, you make a good point, brother. You know, it attracts a certain kind of human to this platform, and those that don't resonate with our vibration, they can resonate away. And that's fine. That's fine. We kind of really only want the good apples anyways. So our culture is built person by person. As we bring people on, you know, we need to sift for that. We need to sift for good humans, because we're building our culture in real time, person by person, company by company. So wanted to thank you, Jared, for bringing that up, because that's a huge point.
thanks, brother. Appreciate you, man.
Find the others, right, Rick? Find the
Absolutely.
others.
Find the others.
Attract your tribe, find the others. Well, on that note, a huge shout out again to all of you that represented the brand of power, that, you know, supported Power SolarCon, your leadership. And big, major, massive shout out to Power Corporate for having the faith in all of us to spend over 6 figures, to do the booth, to have Andy, Irene, Rachel, Bobby Smith, Charles, Cammie flown out there away from their families, guys, and working tirelessly all hours of the day to support us, to support the mission and everything we stand for. So with that, I'll end the recording and we'll go ahead and jump over to 30 minutes of open Q&A office hours.